Hi, Tommy.
Harry Potter. Been waiting all
Oh,
day to do that.
yeah, I figured. Uh, Welcome everybody. We're doing a Harry Potter episode. It's part one of
Hmm.
our
And
four-part
hopefully,
series.
I yeah, hopefully, I think this might be the very first episode that is probably going to be really good in terms of audio because now
Last
we
week,
both have good mics and pop filters.
the Soul episode sounded fine. We both had mics then.
Oh, really?
Oh
Should we
well, I
both have
guess
the
I didn't.
pop
I didn't have
filters?
a pop filter.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
I have
I
a
mean, it
pop
probably
filter now.
wasn't that big of a deal, but yeah. I think if you're
Hold on, let me.
listening, if
I'm gonna make sure I'm recording through the right mic. Yep. Okay, I'm good. Just didn't want to
okay.
record through my
I
AirPods
was,
again.
I was gonna say, if you're probably a listener to the podcast, you probably don't care too much about audio quality. So
uh, Yeah, so we're gonna do 4 parts in the series. Probably be one every month, maybe month and a half. I don't know how frequently we'll do
yeah,
them, but yeah, we're gonna go with 1 through 8, and then in the last episode we'll do a little ranking of our Harry Potter um uh favorite to least favorite, or least favorite to favorite, or whatever. I was gonna
the
like,
hottest professors in all of Hogwarts. That's the
yeah,
ranking we're gonna do.
number one is the trolley witch, who gives them candy on the
Yeah,
train. uh So, what was I gonna say? I was gonna, Tommy, like before this podcast, I was like, oh, I should grab like my Harry Potter scarf and like my wand and like my Harry Potter like mug and shit. And I was gonna be like, make a whole bit out of it. And then I was like, I guess that'll only be like mildly funny to just Tommy. Like the rest of the
yeah,
audience, anyone else would be like,
yeah.
yeah, whatever. Um, but yeah, so Harry Potter is um it's probably my like third favorite like franchise of all time, honestly.
Can
Um
I guess the other two? Does
yeah, you
Marvel
can.
count? Does I guess Batman? Would that be one of
I
them?
wouldn't say just Batman,
Like
but
I don't know how would you rank like superhero franchises? Like would Iron Man be in there, or would like Captain
well,
America be
so
in there?
I would just generally say DC and Marvel are my top two.
Okay, yeah, that's what I
But
would.
if you want to get into specifics, it'd be like the DC comic universe, like the actual canon comic books, and
Yeah.
then the Marvel cinematic universe.
Okay.
Those would be like the two peaks of both of those,
And then
in my
the
opinion.
HPCU, Harry Potter Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's not. No, not really, because the Fantastic Beasts movies are not very good. So really,
Oh
just the
yeah, you know what?
main
You're right.
line 8 Harry Potter movies and the books. Number 4 is probably Star Wars, but it's exhausting to talk about, so I don't really don't hold much love in my
we
heart for that one.
yeah, we talk a little bit too much about Star Wars. Neither of us are even that big of Star Wars fans. I don't think. I think we both
Right. We
like
just
it, but
fight about it
that's
constantly.
the thing. We fight about it. Um, it's like we're a married couple and we're fighting over the kid we both don't really like all that
We
much.
both hate.
Yeah.
Neither of us want custody, but we just want to be mad at each other.
Yeah.
And to get this part out of the way, like, you know, fuck J.K. Rowling, right? This is not about her.
Oh yeah,
We all
she's
hate her
whack.
here. She's whack. She's a turf. Whatever. I still really like Harry Potter, and so yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about the
it's.
first two,
I'm sure if somebody else came up with Harry Potter, it'd be really cool. But I don't know. Like,
and we're talking about the
I'm gonna
movies, so we could just pretend it was the directors who did everything.
exactly. I mean, on that side, number two kind of sucks. But we'll blame. I'm gonna blame Chamber of Secrets on
You could blame that on
J.K.
J.K.
Rowling.
Rowling.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's kick it off with number one, Sorcerer's Stone. Tommy, when was the
Yeah.
last time you saw this movie?
I actually saw it a year ago. But besides that, um, probably since I was like 9 or 10.
I mean, a year ago was fine because that's the
Yeah.
last time you saw it. That answered my question.
Yeah.
Um, I like this one. I mean, this one feels probably like the best at being just like a good kids movie or family movie.
Yeah, this one's pretty good. It's it feels like there's a lot of cool wizard stuff that goes on, so it makes you like excited about like wow, this they really put in a lot of work to make this like a living and breathing world while
Mm-hmm.
not being like overbearing. Like it's just like oh, there's broomsticks, there's their wands, there's a wizard castle school, and yeah, it's just pretty nice. You know,
Yeah.
nothing too crazy.
I think the best thing about this movie, because it kind of carries through like, and spoilers for like every Harry Potter movie, by the way, because these movies are old as fuck and you can watch them. So, um, but the kind of best thing about this movie that set precedent for the rest of the movies is like the casting is just so good. Like,
Yeah,
obviously the kids, like, they're not great at acting now because they're what, 11 or 12.
yeah, I think they're literally 11.
So, but they end up being pretty good actors by the time the series is ending. And
Mm-hmm.
but the adults in this movie are all like really good. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, especially Snape. Like everyone knows that Snape is like fucking like he's the most fun character to watch on screen.
Yeah, he's
Um,
a bit of a wackadoodle, but he was really good. Him and Dumbledore and McGonagall,
mhm.
obviously. Um, yeah.
And Dumbledore, like the actor who plays this Dumbledore, like dies. So we're gonna get a new Dumbledore in Prisoner of Azkaban, who I kind of prefer, but they
Who
both like
who's the new Dumbledore again?
it's Michael Gambon.
Okay, cool.
But they both play the character like really differently, so it's not like it's not like a big downgrade or upgrade. Like it still feels kind of consistent. I'm sure we'll talk about that more in the actual episode where he gets replaced. But
Mm.
what I'm saying is like Hagrid and Snape and like all the adults in this movie are just fun. John Hurt is Ollivander, and they all
Who's Ollivander?
he's the wand. He owns the wand shop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, and I mean the other big thing about this movie is that it sets the um just sets the world up so well. Like you understand pretty much everything by the time it's over.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably have to like, I, I, yeah, I would agree. I think they have everything there that like sets up a series. Like they have, this is Harry Potter. This is how we got a scar. This is Voldemort. Um, these are I don't know. It sets it up really well. It might be
Mm-hmm.
hard to like perfectly get that. Like if you had no idea what Harry Potter was and then you watched the first movie once, it might be a little hard to like fully understand everything. But I think it does set up everything pretty well.
Yeah, and I mean just the universe. Like, oh, this is
Mm-hmm.
how wizards work. Like they go to school, they get sorted into the houses. Can't use magic this way, or like does a good job setting up the rules so you're not like, confused the whole time. And
Yeah.
I think just like a lot of the world building, like uh, in this is like some of my favorite, like you know, fuck J.K. Rowling and all that shit, but like this movie especially is like I don't know. It's really like I can't think of another series that has something like the Hogwarts houses that are so like just like clear and like
So iconic just to the
yeah.
movie as a whole. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I mean, I'm sure there's something that I could probably compare, but not off the top of my head. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, Hogwarts is definitely. I don't know. It's
And I
cool.
think it's
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 a cool
fun how
place.
they incorporate like some of the more like traditional stuff associated with witches and wizards into it, like flying on the broomsticks and like how it's all kind of more modern feeling.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was just really cool that just the world building as a whole, like it felt like so dense. Like
Mm-hmm.
it felt like I don't know how else to explain it. It felt like everything was there. Um, I don't know. I just thought it was they did like a really good job with the first one, and yeah, I don't know. I can
The
only talk
first
about
one.
a wizard school for so long, but
Um, yeah, but so I kind of talked about them earlier, but like in terms of like child actors, like they're pretty good. Like
Not bad, yeah.
I would expect them to be a lot worse, especially because this is like, such a big kind of
And
franchise that they
also,
have to
yeah,
carry.
also considering the like sheer number of child actors, you'd imagine one of them might be like kind of garbage, but
Yeah.
they're all like fine.
Yeah. I think it's because like their real life personalities are so kind of similar to their characters.
Really?
They've
You
talked
think?
about this and stuff, like Emma Watson's like really like smart bookworm or whatever, and like Rupert Grint's like really like a goofy slacker guy, and Daniel Radcliffe's like right in the middle. So it's like kind of just, I think they just did a good job casting those three,
Yeah.
especially because everyone says it, but they're gonna be known as those three for like ever.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Like imagine being, you know, Harry Potter and like trying to. I mean, I imagine he's gotten cast as other things, but he's always going to be known as Harry Potter.
Yeah, literally everything I mean that happens with anyone who plays any like massive pop culture character though.
Yeah.
Like if you watch a movie and it's got like Joaquin Phoenix and you know I don't know, Robert Downey Jr. in it, people are going to be like, look, it's the Joker and Iron Man. And I've talked about that a lot, how like
It's kind of annoying.
it's really annoying how every movie is like, look, Mysterio and Captain America and the Joker. But I don't know. I like them. I like these three. And I was never like, there's never a point where I'm like, oh, that's not good delivery. Cause like, that's how kids kind of talk,
I love,
kids
yeah. Kids are
talk
kind of
like
like,
very obvious.
and like especially British kids. Like I don't know. I don't have many British friends. I don't think I have any British friends. But I imagine, I don't know. This is weird to say or bad to say, but it sounded like a little bit pompous. You know, that's just what I expect. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm just like, yeah, that's what I imagine little 10-year-old British people sound like.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, in terms of like the actual plot though, I mean, it's like,
Pretty
it's
cool.
simple as shit. It's like very, very bare bones, but I don't think that's a problem because it's like,
No,
it's all about the world.
yeah, this is kind of like the Avatar complex because Avatar's plot is so simple, but it's done so well because of all the supporting factors that like make it a interesting plot. And that's kind of what Harry Potter does too, is what I found.
hmm I mean, like the movie takes like what 20 minutes aside to just have like a Quidditch game, and it's like one of the most fun parts of the movie, and it has no real bearing on the plot. I mean, yeah, like Quirrell's trying to kill him or whatever, but it's like it's really just cool to see like the wizard sporting event thing and how that's like how that works, and big chess and all this like stuff. And I don't know,
Big
it's just like,
chats.
yeah, these movies are so fucking cozy. Like every time I watch them, I just want to like get all comfy with a blanket and just like nestle in. Tommy
Yeah.
doesn't agree.
No, I mean, I don't. It makes me want to like watch the rest of them. Is what I found. Like I finished watching the first two, and I kind of just want to like leave and watch the
hmm
rest of them. um, yeah, no, that I don't know, but it's one of those things where you just like want to be all in it and then just like never do it again, kind of thing. Like I just want to like consume all the Harry Potter movies instantly, and then just talk about them, record the podcast, and then just never talk about them again.
huh.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I find that this is one of the only like movie series where like I when I want to like watch a Harry Potter movie, I actually want to watch it like the whole thing from beginning to end. Like if I'm gonna rewatch like Star Wars or Marvel, I'm just gonna skip the ones that I don't really like that much.
yeah,
But with this series, I'm never like, even the ones I don't like as much. I'm always like I still gotta watch it because it's part of the.
that's how I feel. Yeah, I felt like watching only two of them is kind of a disservice to like the story as a whole. and which makes me want to like watch the rest of them. But those will come later, unfortunately. Um,
I mean, we could talk about it after.
yeah,
We'll
we can
figure
figure
something
it out. We'll figure it
out. What was I gonna say?
out.
Oh. So, yeah,
So,
yeah, and we haven't really like talked about the what the plot like is. Like, the movie starts out and you see that Harry Potter's life just like fucking sucks ass, and his parents are mean as fuck, and that's
Beltic is kind of an asshole to Daniel Radcliffe.
yeah. Uh, but I think that's what like hooks people in with this movie instantly is like you instantly feel bad for him because like the Dursleys are so fucking awful and
Yeah, and
like
also, who names their kid Dudley?
I know, right? I
There's
guess
probably
people named
some.
Vernon and Petunia probably, but
Yeah.
Petunia is a
Um,
pretty shit name.
that is
To
a
all the
pretty bad
Petunias
name. I
listening,
imagine there's our three, our only three listeners are Vernon, Petunia, and Dudley.
uh, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, this movie is like super duper simple, and it's just like it's a kids movie. This
Yeah,
one
what do you want from it?
more than well, I think the first two more than the rest of them. But like, what's really nice about this like franchise is that it grows up like with the people who are watching it. It's like, especially if you watched it when it was releasing, but even if regardless of when you're watching, it's like, oh, you're going through each school year with them. And I
Yeah, I
think
like that story structure that each book is like a different year or each
mm-hmm.
movie, whatever. And I think that really helps it.
Oh yeah, and I think that's why the last two are able to be really emotional is because like you get to like the big final thing and you realize like holy shit, like it's like been so long that like now they're all grown up, and it's like kind of a really sad feeling when you finish watching them because you're like you just realize you watched like them grow up and you feel like
like you kind of
you kind of
grew up
miss,
too.
yeah, you kind of miss like how innocent and fun the first couple movies are because like the later movies are the darker ones that are more plot heavy.
Yeah,
And
they all kind of revolve around each other.
mhm. And I think like this one in terms of like it's nowhere near my favorite Harry Potter movie, but like it's like it's such a perfect like introduction to like the series, I think. Like
Mhm.
there's nothing that I have a glaring issues about. Like the only thing that holds it back from being my top Harry Potter movie is that it is the first one. So it's like you have to set up all this stuff and like, you know.
I think one of the issues with it, and reminder, I haven't watched the rest of them. I've only watched one and two, and I watched the rest of them like a really long time ago. But I think Quarrel and the Voldemort on the back of his head is kind of like a lame villain.
Oh sure, yeah.
It's just like also like maybe they didn't. I don't know. I just thought it was weird that like it was like it was on his turban, and I don't know. I felt like it was a little like weird thing, like
Yeah.
oh don't trust the people with the turban, the kind of vibe. I don't know. I was just like, okay, it's probably. I hope that's not what they were trying to say,
Oh, this
but
is
who knows?
Jake.
Like,
J.K. Rowling did name a character Cho Chang, the one
oh
Asian character in the
yeah,
series.
yeah. Geez, maybe.
So,
Yeah.
not everything in the series has aged super nicely. But
But yeah, regardless of that, I think the character was kind of just pretty lame. And
oh sure,
considering
yeah.
some of the villains and like some of the villainous themes that the series has like later on down the line, it was kind of lame as shit.
Yeah, and I think this is the one where it's like, yeah, we get like the general gist of the plot, like Voldemort killed Harry's parents. No one knows if he's really back. Oh, look, he's really back. But the second one is the one that actually starts setting those like kind of bigger plot elements into play. That's the one that brings up, and we'll talk about this more in a bit. But like that's the one that brings up like you know Muggleborns versus purebloods and half-bloods and like all that stuff and like what it means. And this one's more concerned with like setting up the broader universe, while the second one is more like this is what this whole thing is trying to tell. Like this is the story that we're going with from here on
Yeah,
out. And every other movie besides really this one is important into that larger narrative that's like, around Voldemort and all that shit. But like I said, this one's just a starting point. And
pretty solid.
it is a pretty solid movie.
I
Uh
would put it kind of in the same realm as like A New Hope, where
mm,
it's a great introduction. It's probably not the best that the series has to offer, but it's just
mm-hmm,
for the fact that like it did so much world building, did a really
right.
good job.
And have you read the books?
Yeah, when I was super young.
Yeah, so I think the first two are the ones because they're shorter books, but they're the ones that are like the most page to screen accurate with a couple things left out,
Hmm.
uh, which I think is also what makes these so nice. These first two is well not really Chamber Secrets, but like this one is like you go through the whole school year with them, whereas the later movies you start skipping a lot of the year because there's just so
Yeah,
much content to
they
cover.
focus on like one section of the year so much, and then they like skip to another
Right.
one.
Well, whereas this one, it's like it's Halloween, it's Christmas, it's break, it's they're back, time
Hmm.
for exams, like all that shit you go through, which is super cool. And I think that's only really possible with the first ones that are shorter books.
Yeah, and they're not so much as like plot driven. You know what I mean? Like it's not so much focusing on like Voldemort and the other stuff. It's just like, oh, what kind of shenanigans is going on in the castle
Yeah.
now?
Oh, three-headed dog. Oh my God,
Yeah.
there's ghosts.
Hmm.
Which I think is the best part. Is that you kind
Yeah.
of go if you're watching the series for the first time with no familiarity with the universe or you've never read or anything, then like you're going through like the you're like discovering things for the first time as Harry is, you know, because he doesn't know anything about the universe. So when he discovers like flying brooms for the first time, that's when the viewer is discovering flying brooms for the first time. And I think that was a really effective way to make a franchise that would have longevity because you would always be able to introduce new things to both Harry and the audience, which is really
Yeah,
fun.
I agree. Because Harry doesn't know anything about wizards going in. It's not like they just start out and it's like, oh, he's in the wizard world.
Yeah,
He
no, he's a
kind of
fucking
finds
idiot.
out as we find out.
Hermione does everything.
Yeah, Hermione's kind of a prude. I didn't want to say it, but she
Don't.
knows she's a little bit of a know-it-all, like but
Mm-hmm.
she ends up saving their ass. So
I think that's
good on
kind of
her.
that's kind of my biggest criticism with the series is like I've read the books a few times and my favorite character is Ron, but the movies do him so dirty.
He's kind of an idiot.
Every like good attribute Ron has in the books they give to Hermione and she just becomes like God. Like she is like so smart and so good at everything and Ron has like no no good attributes in the movie.
He's not even like a funny character. He just like something
No.
happens to him and then he makes like a frowny face and then he
Yeah.
and then
The
like
thing
that's it.
the thing with Ron is that he's supposed to be like Harry's best friend. Like Hermione is like, smart and stuff, but like Harry and Ron have like a connection that like
Yeah.
Hermione doesn't understand because they're boys.
Yeah.
And like
He's a dumb girl that doesn't get the
yeah,
doesn't
but
get
Harry Harry
the
can
boys.
Harry and Ron like kind of understand each other, whereas Hermione they can both get really annoyed by. And Ron's just like super loyal to Harry and everything. And the movies just make him into like such an asshole. More so like
Yeah.
kind of the middle movies make him like so just like why are you even keeping this dude around? He's so grumpy and annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, like Ron is there all the time, but he like literally doesn't do anything. Like what the hell
Mm-hmm.
is the point of this guy?
Right.
He's I don't know. Like he kind of just follows Harry around and then
Right.
like the camera just happens to be showing
Mm-hmm.
Ron. I don't know.
Yeah. Um. But anyway, yeah, I'm no surprise here, but I'm giving Sorcerer's Stone Chad status.
Yeah, I'll give it a Chad too.
Um. And moving on to the worst Harry Potter movie, Chamber of Secrets.
Do you also think this is the worst Harry Potter movie?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
It's
It's
pretty bad. Like I went
okay.
into it thinking like, okay, I don't know how much I'm gonna like this because I saw Dobby on the front and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like Dobby. And then I started it and then I was just like, okay, it's okay start, not great. And then it just
Yeah.
kept getting like, wow, yeah, this isn't too good.
So I still think like it's fine. Like as like it's not like the worst thing in the world. I don't think it's a bad movie, is what I'll say. You might disagree, but and that's fine. But like
Yeah,
I think it's like as a movie, it's fine. But as part of the Harry Potter saga, it is just so un just like so obviously the weakest. Because first of
mhm.
all, it's like it's really long. It is the longest Harry Potter movie based
Are you
on like the
serious?
second shortest book in the series. Yeah, it's the longest one.
Oh my god.
Um, and I think if it had a runtime that was more similar to the first one, then people wouldn't really shit on this one as much because like it just seems like they're dragging it out so much, and it's like there's not that much to do really.
Yeah, there was actually like a period in the book where it felt like nothing was going on besides like one at a time different students would become petrified and then they would just like learn a little like just a little bit more information and then another
Mm-hmm.
student would get petrified then they learned a little bit more and it just this went on for like I think an hour or like 45 minutes.
Sorry, Chamber of Secrets. What's happening?
There's a chamber and it has secrets and I don't know why it's called the Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, can we solve that? Maybe I just missed it.
That's what the
I get
chamber
it's a
is
chamber.
called.
I get it's a chamber. What's secrets besides the snake?
I think it's just the Chamber of Secrets because Salazar Slytherin. It was like
Secrets.
it was
Lots of S's.
the chamber
Secrets.
itself was secret, and you don't want anyone knowing about it, and you don't want anyone.
Why wouldn't it just be called the secret chamber?
I don't fucking know. I think Chamber of Secrets probably just sounds a little cooler. Maybe there's other stuff in there.
Chamber of Secrets does. I will say, out of all the names, like just Harry Potter names, Chamber of Secrets sound is one of the cooler names. You know what I mean?
Half Blood Prince is a cool name.
I was gonna say Half Blood Prince is also really cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. This movie kind of falls flat for me. I hated Dobby. He was so fucking annoying. Um, they had like other CGI creatures that were also really annoying. They
the
also had
other
other. I feel like every single character they added that wasn't in the movie, maybe not all of them, but most of them, just came off as useless and pointless and annoying. Like what
mm-hmm.
the fuck was like Dobby's purpose in the book? He
So
kind of just, or
Dobby,
sorry, in the movie, he kind of just takes time away. Is what
well,
I found.
he's supposed to show like the mistreatment of the house elves and shit, and like how much Lucius Malfoy sucks as a person.
Yeah.
Um, but and like I don't know, it brings up the whole like wizard slavery thing, but it's not in the books. He comes and like ends up working at Hogwarts, and he's kind of just like always around, and he's like, "Hey, Dobby, what's up?" But in the movies, he doesn't pop up again until the seventh one. Um, so I think if he just stuck around more in the movies, then you know probably be fine because it would just be like, oh, we're introducing a new character for the long run. But instead, it just is like, this is the Dobby movie, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean Dobby wasn't in it that much. Like he probably had like maybe 10 minutes of screen time. But it was 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes too much, in my opinion.
Why
Like I
you hate
hate
Dobby that much?
when he started talking in third person in his high pitched voice and then he started hitting himself. I was like, oh my God. And then there was the Lockhart guy who
Kills. Oh,
also
I love
serves
him,
he serves no purpose for the
but I
movie.
like him. I think he's really fun.
Yeah, he's fun, but he's like, what the hell was his point? Like, he wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't a
Well,
good
that's
guy.
another,
He
and I
was
don't want to
just a
be the guy
fraud.
who's constantly going like, well, in the book, but in the book, after the events of this movie, he ends up in an insane asylum. Well,
Oh,
not an
okay.
insane asylum, but it's like a home for people uh, who like were involved in accidents or whatever, and he has no family or anything, so like they flesh him out a lot more. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest problems with the series is like as a whole, not even just this movie, but they introduce characters for like one book and then that's it, or one movie and that's it. You know, like
Mhm.
we're gonna get to like uh movie 4 with Barty Crouch and then he's gone. Quirrell comes and then he's gone. You know, it's like
And isn't I don't remember if she's around, but there was the woman who was in the 5th movie
yeah, Umbridge.
who was kind of
She comes
an
back in
ass.
the 7th one as well, but again,
Okay.
it's more like it's basically for that one movie that she's really a
Yeah.
character.
Um. What's it all I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
say?
this is so plot wise, this is the movie that introduces us to wizard racism, and
Yeah.
that's what I was talking about when I was saying it sets up the conflict for the rest of the movies because like that's what
Conflict because J.K. Rowling is probably racist too.
yeah probably um but it sets up the conflict for like the rest of the series that Voldemort is wizard Hitler and wants to kill all the anyone who isn't pure blood.
Is Harry
um
pureblood? I don't know.
Harry is half blood because his mother is muggle born.
Is that how that?
Yeah, anything that's not, so if
But
you're
she's a
like,
wizard. How could he be half blood
yeah,
if?
well, because her parents were muggles. So unless everyone in your family has been a wizard, then
Oh,
you won't be a
okay.
pureblood. So
So a lot of people are half bloods. Is basically
most
the point.
people are half bloods. But
Okay.
so Ron's family is pureblood.
Hmm.
Uh Draco's family is pureblood. Neville's family is pureblood. And then I think there's like 2 or 3 more families in all of England that are pureblood, and that's it.
And they happen to all be at Hogwarts at the same year.
Well, no, some of them are like adults. Like Sirius Black's family is
Hmm.
all pureblood. But most of them are like related to each other in some way, and it's all like incestuous because like they're trying to like maintain that shit, and you can't when there's only like 6 wizards total anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's what this movie is like setting up. It's Draco calls Hermione a mudblood, which is the wizard slur, and and that kind of takes us through like, oh, this is how Voldemort was, and like he wanted everything to be pure blood, and some people still believe that, and that's like Lucius Malfoy and shit. So it's trying to set up all of that, and I think that's all well and good, but it just kind of like the larger plot at hand is just like
Hmm.
really, really long and really, really wound up because so much of this movie is Harry just moping around, going, "Everybody hates me because they think I'm killing everyone."
Yeah, and he also is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like
Every
it's
time.
so funny. Like it's kind of like obvious that this is what the movie is trying to do. It's like he walks in and there's like a petrified person. Then right after someone comes in and he's like, oh, I don't know what to say. Like
Yeah. uh it's literally Harry is always able to like he's always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like he just stumbles upon a huge situation or someone is talking about something very, very crucial to him while he's within eavesdropping distance.
mhm.
All the time in the movies and the books. He's always eavesdropping. It's amazing. Uh but yeah. Um and then yeah, like again, there's some like really stupid fun stuff about this movie, but a lot of it's just really drawn out. Like the part where they're taking the flying car to school, it's like that feels longer every time I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty long. I don't know. Like there's just so many parts that they could have taken out that didn't add anything to the movie
Mm-hmm.
that just felt like it's there to make it longer. Oh, also Myrtle. Like, can I just say she is really annoying. Not Dobby level.
Oh, Moaning Myrtle. Right.
Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like her voice. I don't know what they did.
Cedric.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. I
Two
didn't like.
points if it goes through her head.
um,
Yeah, that's like they're making polyjuice potion. I know it's like that's part of the point. Is like it takes
also,
months to brew or whatever.
Cat
But
Hermione.
oh yeah.
Like that was when I saw that. I'm like, oh my god, I hate this movie.
Hermione's like, "How could this happen? It started so perfect."
I think you
You
said that
gotta be
joke last week.
kidding me.
You said that joke last week.
Well, our loyal listeners won't know because they don't listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's fucking Chris, and then oh yeah, so they go into what I find funny about these movies is like for movies about wizards, Harry barely ever casts a spell. Like it's
Yeah, now that
very
I'm thinking
rare
of it.
that he casts a spell. So they go into the spider den, right? Which first of all is one of the scariest fucking scenes in anything ever.
It's really kind of
It's
spooky.
really unnerving when they go into the spider's den and there's the big one and
Aragon.
yeah, they're Gog. But
Is
that's
that his
bad enough.
Gog or
Yeah,
Gone?
Gog.
Oh, okay.
But and that's bad enough, the gigantic one. But the ones that really freak me out are like the medium-sized ones, like the ones that are like way
Because they're
bigger than normal spiders.
because
But
they're like there's like 1,000 of them.
yeah, and they're really fucking fast. But
Mhm.
so in true like Harry Potter movie fashion, like Harry does like one spell at the spider, and then he just starts swinging the lantern at them. And it's like, dude, you still have a wand. It's so fucking funny. But I do think that's a really freaky part of the movie, and I like that it's like, even though it's a kids movie, they're like, we're gonna fucking scare the shit out of them right now.
At least one kid is gonna get trauma out of this scene.
Oh yeah, do you know how many people I know that like they're like, nah, I close my eyes during that scene every single time.
I know people that are just weirdly scared of like weird parts during kids' movies.
Oh yeah, my girlfriend is afraid of the snow miser.
What?
Yeah.
That's like, what are you afraid? Like, just like, oh, I can't. That he looks weird, or just like literally like he haunts
There's a
her
part where he's
dreams.
singing a song, and close your ears if you're listening. Um, girlfriend, where he goes "Blah, blah, 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 blah," and she can't watch it. She gets terrified.
Oh my god! I know someone who was afraid of sharks. I don't think they're afraid of sharks anymore, but they couldn't watch Finding Nemo because of the sharks in the movie.
Like Bruce.
Yeah,
They're so harmless.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. This is probably my scary scene. Like I'm not
I was
actually
getting
watching it.
I was watching that movie. I was watching the movie, obviously. And when I saw that scene, I literally thought, this is a scary scene of the movie. Like,
Hmm.
I'm surprised this is here.
Yeah. I watched an actual horror movie last night, and I was less scared during that than I was during the spider scene of Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
There's just so many.
There's
And
so
then they get
many.
out, and it's like, oh, I would have to be in the shower for like an
Oh,
hour and a half after
yeah,
experiencing
you
something
know.
like that.
And then like one is like around Ron's neck.
Oh, and also the dog slobbers on Ron at one point. Like it's like the dog slobbers
Yeah.
on Ron, and then also like a spider's like venom drips down and hits Ron on the
I
head or
will
something.
the 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 saliva that went on Ron
Yeah,
is a little more viscous
it's
than
very
normal.
viscous, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
incredibly viscous.
just I remember we got that out of the way.
I remember seeing it and being like, oh,
Yeah, that does not. It looks like more like clear colored Nickelodeon slime.
yeah, I mean, it probably was. That's probably what they had on set. They were like, we're right next door to Nickelodeon Studios or whatever.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Ron's broken wand for a minute? Because
Yeah, it's kind of
how irresponsible are the adults at this fucking school that they're letting Ron walk around with a weapon of mass
like
destruction?
you would think they would have just one extra wand.
Like, surely there have been other kids at Hogwarts who have broken their wands. Like, you are letting this kid be a danger to himself and everyone around him by not providing him a new wand.
A man literally loses his memory
Yeah,
because of this broken wand.
forever.
Ron
This is it.
Ron continuously throws up slugs. And can I say that scene was it was a bit much. Like I get it. He accidentally swallowed slugs. Oh, he throws it up. gross enough. Whatever. Let's move on.
He's doing it
They
for a
turned.
while.
They turned to the next scene, and he's doing it for like 3 more minutes. He's just throwing up slugs, and it's like I get the point.
Also, there's a part in the movie where they're doing like dueling practice, right?
Yeah.
And Snape is like, or Gilderoy Lockhart is like, okay, I'll take Harry and Ron and have them duel. And Snape goes, Mr. Weasley's wand is a danger to himself and everyone around him. Let me give you Draco instead. So you do know that it's a problem then, right? You are recognizing that Ron's wand is an issue and you're still just letting him walk around the school with it.
Like they have to know, like you can do some crazy shit with these wands. Like
Yeah.
kids, you know.
Yeah, but anyway, and then Hermione gets petrified, and this is another funny part of the movie where Hermione gets petrified. They go on this huge adventure to the spiders, but in reality, Hermione just had the answer to their question balled up in her fist, and they just
Yeah.
never bothered to check.
And you would think that like when she was petrified, the people who like examined her
Would see a
would
piece
have
of paper in her
would
hand
have
or
found the
something.
paper in her hand.
Yeah, her fist isn't
Somehow,
even all the way closed. It's like kind of closed, but it's not all the way closed.
yeah, this is kind of like the kid movie logic
Yeah.
that, and it's like it's fine. Like
Yeah, I mean,
it's more
whatever.
funny to make fun of it than to actually like pick it apart
Use it
because
as a valid criticism.
yeah, because look, like you know, I could use it as a criticism, but like it's not worth my time. I'd rather just laugh about it.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, and then they go into the dungeon and they force Gilderoy Lockhart to go with them, which again, why? They know he's a fraud. They
They
know
don't.
he's going to provide no protection to them.
He already said he wanted to erase their memories.
Yeah.
He's not like gonna help them.
Yeah, he's not even a good wizard.
Maybe bait. I don't know. Well, I guess not because Harry tells him don't look at the serpent.
Yeah.
Also, can I say when Harry gets down there, I get it. The Phoenix comes and like destroys the eyes of the snake or the basilisk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like that kind of ruined an opportunity for a really like interesting final fight. Like
What, for Harry to die?
yeah, no. Like imagine a fight where Harry couldn't look at its eyes. Like
That already happened.
When?
When he's in the top. Oh, I guess it scratched out his eyes pretty quickly. Yeah, you're right, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I think about like some cool movie fight. I don't know how they would have done it, but it would have been cool if like
He
Harry had
couldn't
to
look at the
rely
eyes.
on like senses. I don't know.
His wand, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah,
I do
maybe
think.
just maybe his wand.
I feel like the sword of Gryffindor should look cooler. Doesn't look that cool.
It looks like I can buy it at a party.
It looks like a fencing thing. Yeah. It should look way cooler. Because it's like, on paper, it sounds like a metal moment where Harry stabs the basilisk through the mouth with the sword of Gryffindor.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of a dorky looking sword. It's not that cool.
Yeah, it has like it's just all silver and like some red bedazzles.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do think that's kind of a cool conflict that they have in the movie, though, is Harry, worried about if he's actually like bad because everyone thinks he's the heir of Slytherin and the hat considered putting him in Slytherin. And I like that they bring it up that Harry's like so scared of just like being a bad person. And I like that the final resolution is like you're in Gryffindor because you chose to be in Gryffindor. Like
yeah, that's probably one of my favorite like lines of the movie. It's that it was because he chose it, not because all these other things. Like yeah, like that's why when people do like, oh, what did you get for your Pottermore quiz? It's like doesn't that completely defeat
I mean,
the
it doesn't
purpose?
matter because you could choose anyway.
Yeah,
it's just fun to do. By the way, I'm a Gryffindor, and I would choose Gryffindor too.
Okay.
Tommy's mad because he's a Hufflepuff.
I didn't choose Hufflepuff.
But yeah, so I like that. That's kind of the thing that carries through the movie is that Harry is like really struggling with if he should have been in Slytherin or not, and that the final resolution is that it doesn't matter because a true Gryffindor would choose to be in Gryffindor. Which is cool. I like that. Because Harry's like, the hat's like in the first movie, it says something like, "Oh, you're smart, and you've got the attributes of every house, basically."
Yeah, he said you would really succeed in Slytherin.
Yeah. He doesn't really. He's not very bright. I mean, if without Hermione, he probably would have not gotten high enough grades to pass. But
Yeah,
uh,
he's kind of just raw talent,
oh sure.
you know.
I think his like biggest thing is that he is like super brave, like as a character like that. At like
He's got
age
a good.
fucking
Mhm.
at age 11, he's like, all right, I'm gonna fucking die. Like I'm gonna die to save the stone, and I'm fine with that. Like that's chill.
Yeah, like a few months after learning that he is a wizard, he decides I'm just gonna fucking die for this place. I
Yeah. And this
don't
movie
give
too
a
is
shit.
like he gets stabbed by the or he gets bit by the basilisk, and he's like, "Get out, Ginny, save yourself," whatever. And he's just like, "Yep, all right, I'm gonna die." Like he's super brave. No one ever talks about how Harry is a character himself.
Yeah,
He's
I
just
mean,
like,
at the end of the day, he has a good heart and he's
yeah,
brave, which is what all heroes need.
yeah, that's what they do. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think to get into more like the movie specific stuff, like it's just way too long. Is my big thing. Like it always feels very
yeah,
long. They clap for Hagrid for about fucking
yeah.
7 minutes at the end.
It is pretty long. Like everybody gets up and why did they clap for Hagrid? Do you remember?
I think it was like, oh, they just didn't appreciate him or something.
It was weird because I was watching it and then they all started clapping. Like, wait, what?
Oh, because he was falsely accused of going to Azkaban and
But
all this
why would
shit.
you
Yeah,
clap?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I get why like Harry would
Kid
hug
movie
him.
logic. Yeah,
Yeah, it's fine.
it's whatever.
And what else happens? Oh, I wanted to so like the villain is Voldemort, but not really. It's like a memory of Voldemort that's been it's hiding in a
It's
diary. It's
it is
possessing.
the villain is I am Lord Voldemort as an anagram for Tom or Riddle.
Yeah, that's another funny thing is like, man, how badly did you want to cram that into his
Yeah,
name?
that's what I said. I am. She was so
Marvolo. You had to name him Marvolo.
because like I imagine she was really trying to figure out a name for Lord
Mm-hmm.
Voldemort as an anagram, but just could not. And
Yeah,
she's
so
just like, ah, I
I did
just
the I
gotta.
am.
Yeah, it's really funny because like he moves the letters around and it looks so like grand and like evil, and then
Yeah.
it's like it zooms in on the screen. It's like I am Lord Voldemort, which is like
Yeah,
what a
the
kid would
most
write.
unrealistic thing is that Harry wasn't like he
Yeah.
didn't fucking laugh at him.
Yeah, like with this, like imagine he does it and it's like um Tom Riddle was here. That's the
Yeah.
vibe I got from
Tom Riddle is cool.
it. Yeah. He turns around the letters and it's just a super S.
um yeah, but so that's another kind of cool thing, but also kind of weird thing about this movie is like it's not revealed till the sixth movie that the diary is a Horcrux. Do you remember what that is?
Yeah, it's like Voldemort's like 7 lives or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Um, it's just seven evil X's. Um, but they reveal that the diary is one of those. And Harry destroyed it in this book, which I think is cool that they went back and were like, oh yeah, it would make sense if that was one. But I definitely do not think that was part of her plan the whole time because
Not at all.
it does not operate the same as any other Horcrux in the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it does fit, but
Because
then
like
just
why would Voldemort willingly give like
his yeah,
Harry and
he,
Ginny his Horcrux?
right. And Lucius just like kind of gives it um to Ginny and is like, haha, like
Mm-hmm.
you're under the impression it's just like a cursed book or whatever.
Like Harry could have like just accidentally set it on fire. Like it's a wizarding school with kids with wands. Like
Yeah.
one of them is probably gonna shit on it or set it on fire.
Oh wait, that's another funny thing. It's so to get back to Dobby, right? The end of the movie comes, and Harry realizes that it was Lucius who put the diary in Ginny Weasley's cauldron. And so to get back at him, he frees Dobby, right? He gives Dobby a book, or he gives Lucius a book, and then Lucius gives Dobby a book, and that has a sock in it, so Dobby is free. And then Lucius goes to kill Harry in the hallway. He starts saying Avada Kedavra. He was going to kill Harry.
I remember watching that. I was like, because he says Avad, and then I'm like, wait, what? Like he's gonna kill Harry.
He
like,
was going to kill
No,
a
it's
child in the middle of a public school.
Like he was literally about to murder
Yeah.
a 12-year-old kid because he freed his slave. It's...
I know, it's really fucking funny.
And then like what happened was Dobby like pushes him back, and instead of trying to like kill him again, he just leaves.
Yeah, he's like, "This'll be the last of me."
Yeah.
It's all in good fun. I mean, the goofy performances are what makes it enjoyable to watch, you know?
I agree. I just like also all those pixies during that scene.
Oh, yeah,
That was so annoying. And oh my god, the
Pesky,
man.
Pisky, Pastanomi.
Yeah, and the also, what was the point of hearing that god awful magic root noise?
Oh, yeah.
Like they didn't have to make it that bad. Like
It's very shrill.
yeah, and then they're just like, okay, here's one sound, and then they're just like, all right, now we're gonna do it with every single one of the students here.
Also, she pulls the first mandrake out, and the kids all have their earmuffs on, right? She pulls the
Mhm.
first one out, and everyone covers their ears over their earmuffs, like it's so loud. Then
Yeah, so you would
every
imagine
child
it'd be louder with
No,
more of them.
right. So every child pulls theirs out at the exact same time, and no one even flinches.
Hmm.
So I guess that one was really strong, or whatever. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still say this movie's a Chad because I think it's fun, and it's the weakest Harry Potter movie by far. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to hate these movies.
I'm
for
gonna
me.
say bad. I hated all the new characters. Well, most of them. I felt like the first one in like every single way is better. And yeah, I don't know. It just a lot of this movie felt like they were going in the right direction, but then just took like a left turn when like they could have just kept going straight. I don't know. It's a I'm just
Yep. It's
could have
just a
been better.
long, winding road to not much.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
But yeah, I mean, these are the two that are like, you know, the kids movies, the ones you really gotta like get through to get to like the really good Harry Potter movies. And the fact that they're still like pretty good is just a testament to how like the whole series is like pretty consistent in quality, you know? Like even though Chamber of Secrets is the worst, I don't think it's like that much of a dip from the other movies. Like I don't think it's like
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, you know, oh, here's the Marvel Cinematic Universe and then the Incredible Hulk or anything like that, you know?
Oh, did you hear that on the?
I did not know.
Oh, okay. My back just like cracked so loud. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to watch the rest of them. Don't tell me what your like. I know Chamber of Secrets is your least favorite, but besides that, don't tell me what your favorite and least favorite is, because I kind of want to.
I will not.
I'm not gonna like go on Letterboxd and check out the rating for each one. I kind of want to go in and like develop my
Going
own
blind.
list. Yeah, exactly.
Fun fact, no, I'm not going to tell you what my favorite is, but I did just change my favorite this morning after
Really?
some reflection. Yep.
Interesting. I have an idea about what the fan favorite is, or like one of them. But
Yeah, I know which one the fan favorite is, but I'll tell you that's not my favorite.
okay.
Anyway, I was going to say tune in next time, but like we're not done. So,
Have we only been recording? I think we've only been recording for like 30 minutes or something.
no, we've been recording longer than that.
You think?
I think so.
Maybe.
No, we sped through those movies. I could talk about them all day because they're just so fucking funny.
Yeah. I don't know. I could really talk about whatever. I watched a decent amount of movies.
Yeah, what are you watching, Tommy?
Yeah, I pulled up the box. So my HBO subscription is gonna die in a few days, so I've kind of been watching some movies on there.
You haven't logged
I
many, at least maybe I haven't seen them.
I I logged through. I watched one yesterday, but I didn't log it. I watched The Social Dilemma, which is like a documentary thing about why social media is bad.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's like a weird way to put it, or a bad way to put it, but it's a little bit more. It's a little bit deeper than that. But it's basically like, yeah, this stuff. It's like kind of not good, and it's leading to a lot of bad things. Which was funny because like literally like 2 days later or a day later, the insurrection at the Capitol building happened, which was full of like QAnon and
Yeah.
like you know, weird social online
Mm-hmm.
social groups. So that was pretty funny to see. I watched this movie called The Tale of Princess Kaguya. They said it a billion times in the movie, but Kaguya. I'm just gonna say that. The animation is really, really cool. It's a Ghibli movie, but I don't know. It was a little bit long, and it was, I don't know. Wasn't the best or wasn't the worst movie. Kind of just smack in the middle. I watched this movie
Yeah.
called Seven Samurai, which is a pretty iconic movie. I think it's the number 5 or 6 highest rated movie on all of Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Um, it's a movie from the 50s. Do you know the movie called The Magnificent Seven? Have you ever watched that or heard about that?
I've heard of it.
It's based on this one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this is a long ass movie, but it kind of doesn't seem as if it meant anything. I felt like this movie was shorter than Chamber of Secrets and Wonder Woman. um, and it's just really, really well done. Um, some people like overly praise it, and I didn't think it was like the best movie I ever saw, but it was still like really, really great. Like there were some
Mm.
like there were four samurais in particular that kind of like stole the show. Um, I don't know. I'd be down to like have a deeper discussion about this movie. But then besides that, I watched a mockumentary called "This Is Spinal Tap," and
Oh, did you?
it's yeah, it's do you know like in the 70s and 80s there were like a bunch of metal bands that had like people with long hair,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was like not okay
Hair
music,
bands.
but not yeah. Um, it was like a mockumentary on that, and it was actually like really really funny. They
Right.
had they would have them come out and like sing these really like inappropriate songs while I was watching with my parents. Like one of the songs was called "Sex Farm," and I was just like trying not to laugh the whole time. I don't know, it was really good. What have you
Yeah,
been watching?
that's been what I've been meaning to watch for a while. I finished Clone Wars season 3. Thank fucking God. So
Chowder bad.
just I was just, I don't know, Chad maybe. I don't know. I'm not really huge on it yet. I'm hoping season 4 changes it because that's when I hear it gets like really good. There was like a group of like 4 episodes that in season 3 that I was like, okay, this must be what everyone's talking about. Like
Yeah.
really good stuff with Anakin, but
It's really
um,
funny because sometimes when you're watching a show that other people recommend, they're just like, "Oh, it gets good." Like you have to watch it for a while, but then it gets
ugh,
really good, and then it like indefinitely seems like each time, oh, it gets good later on, and then you get to that point,
I
like, oh no,
know.
like a little bit later. It's like,
Every time it's always like, wait, I could have sworn they said it got good in season 2. Now it gets good in season 3.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so that's fine. I'll keep watching that. I'm hoping to get that done before I leave for collage. I watched Awesome Powers 2. I've seen the first one. I was never huge on it. Second one, not really huge on that one either. There's a really funny joke in the second one, and I was like, that's really funny. I'm gonna give it an extra half star for that. And then they did the
What's
same
the
joke
one?
again at the end.
Uh,
I've shown
so
you the
did you
clip
deduct?
before. I did deduct. I've shown you the one clip before where it's a they launch the rocket ship and it looks like a big dick, and
Oh, the
they're like,
yeah,
"Oh, it looks like a massive Johnson," and it's like they
yeah,
keep switching.
yeah.
Like it looks like someone's privates.
Yeah, that's a real. Yeah, I remember you showed me that scene. and it was really funny. But that's sad that they do it again.
Yeah, they did it
You
again.
know?
It didn't work as well. It just was like, but you know, I don't know. I like Mike Myers
Yeah,
as Austin Powers. It's fun. Then I watched Before Sunrise, which is like a romantic movie that everyone
yeah.
says
I
is
was
like the
gonna say
best
that sounds.
romantic movie ever made. Um,
Was it?
no, but it was pretty good. It's sad. Um, it's good. I mean, I don't know. I just wasn't like insane about it, but I definitely would recommend it. It's like, you know, it's kind of interesting what they do in it. So yeah, and then I watched The Conjuring last night. Um, I'm not a big horror movie guy. Um, I tend to like horror movies that like are more kind of interesting. Um, and I've heard this is one of the better modern ones, and it's good, but it just felt like a horror movie. Really, I wasn't like scared or anything. It was just like, yep, Patrick Wilson is in this, and the main girl was not very good at acting. And also, okay, what was really irritating about it, like I did like the movie. I gave it 3.5 because it was I don't know. I just thought like the imagery was really creepy and cool, and like a lot of the camera movements were really like really good for like a horror movie because usually it's just like, oh, we're going down a creepy hallway, person, it's like always shit like that, and that's really boring. But this one did a lot more interesting stuff and like had an actual story behind the ghost, which was cool to discover.
Yeah. What I find with horror movies is that all of them do like one or two things that are original and really interesting, but then keep it like a very basic horror movie in every other aspect.
Yeah, pretty much.
So like, Quiet Place, like it's pretty cool that, I get it, quiet, they need to be quiet. But then besides that, it's
Hmm.
kind of pretty normal, and it sounds like this is kind of similar. I don't know. That's kind of just what I feel about horror movies.
Yeah, but
Have
the
we
annoying thing about this movie was, sorry, I'll just finish this and
Yeah, no, no worries.
uh the annoying thing about this movie was like it was so obviously setting up for sequels that it was really annoying. Like it's
Hmm.
based on a true story, but they kept being like, "Ooh, look at this has been opened, and this is now evil," and like, look at all this. And I was like, "Oh my god, they're clearly setting up for more Conjuring movies." And it was just like, I hate when movies assume they're getting a
And
sequel.
they did do more Conjuring movies, right?
Oh yeah, it's like a whole Conjuring universe now.
Oh, great.
So this will probably be the only one I watch though, because I've heard the other ones are not good. So, but
Um,
it is interesting to see like this is based on true stuff and whatever. But eh,
yeah, I was gonna ask if we had ever watched a horror movie. Then I realized we watched Midsommar as the very first.
we did
And that
watch
was
Midsummer.
not great.
Yeah, it was not my favorite. It was, yeah. I will probably never ever see that movie again. It's not even to say it's
Yeah,
like
it's sad just because
terrible.
so many people like are obsessed with it and
Yeah.
Hereditary, but they're just not my movies.
No, I really
Really
like the
not.
first It, and I really like
Yeah, I also really liked First It.
um I really liked It Follows. It was a pretty good horror movie. Because I like when they do just like interesting concepts or they have good characters. And I feel like It has really good characters. And It
Hmm.
Follows has a really interesting concept. So like those are my kind of,
I still need to watch Invisible Man.
it's good. It's on HBO Max.
Yep, and I just need to watch like 10 movies and then I'll be done.
I finally rest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that be doing it for us. Thanks for listening. Follow
Hmm.
shit. Follow
Yeah. Follow
Twitter.
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube,
Yeah,
Twitter.
Twitter.
um,
We're not banned from Twitter. Heyo.
yeah. Unlike the president. Uh,
Oh. Yeah, and so we'll
I'm
be
rating
back.
Donald Trump bad.
I'll say this administration gets a thumbs down.
Imagine if we did that. We just like rated everything.
Yeah. So we'll be back in it's a couple weeks probably. know with Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, and Goblet
Yeah,
of Fire.
who knows when.
Who knows?
I don't know what we're doing next week. Maybe bye.
Yep. So long, everybody.